Hello and welcome along to Adobe After Effects with your host Robert Smith. In this video we're going to go into Cinema 4D and create a scene which you might use for a presentation using some soft lighting. So let's get stuck in. First thing I'll do, here I am in After Effects. I'm going to start a new, I'm going to go to Layer, New, Maxon Cinema 4D file like that. It's going to ask me to give it a name, so I'm going to call it Square 1. It should have been Cube, but that's okay. Okay, Cinema 4D opens up, and away we go. The first thing we're going to need is a cube, so let's grab a cube like this. And I'm just going to grab it by these little yellow things. Let's remind ourselves we can move it around like that using those arrows. Or we can just grab these little yellow dots and scale it that way if you like. So I'll just scale up just a little bit. That's fine. Now I'm going to add a floor to do that. I'm going to go up here, click on floor. And I'm going to move the cube, the floor below the cube like that. That'll do for a starting spot. Okay, let's add a texture to it. To do that, I'm going to go down here and click Create, New Material, double click on this little grey ball here, go where it says Texture, click on here and navigate to find the JPEG I want to map onto the side. Yes, I do want to copy it. Okay, I'm going to grab that and drag that onto the cube, and it's looking good. What I might do is select the cube like that and grab it by the little yellow dot here, and just to make it a little bit skinnier. Okay, fine. Now let's add some lights to what we've got here. To do that, I'm going to go up here to light like this. I'm going to add a spotlight, and the spotlight goes right into the middle of the world like this. What I want that spotlight to do, I want it to rotate and come down from the top. So to do that, I'm going to go up here and click on my rotation tool like that, and up comes this fancy rotator. And I don't want to rotate it that way. I want to rotate it along this axis here, the red one. Okay, so at about 90 degrees, you'll see the number was just there, like that. And you can see down here that the P in the rotation has changed to -90. I might type in exactly -90 there, so it works good. Okay, then I'm going to go back up here, get off my rotation tool, go back to the pointer, grab it by the blue thing here, and just drag it up like this as far as I can. I might zoom out a little bit so I can see what's going on. I'm going to grab that, just drag it right up like that. So we've got the spotlight coming in from the top. Okay, let's add another light. So I'm going to go over here, add another spotlight. This time I want this one to come in here along the Z-axis like that. So I'll just drag it with that blue arrow like that. And what I need to do here, I'm going to go down here and change the properties of that light. I'm going to click on here, make sure I'm on General, click on here. I'm going to make that a bluish color. So I'm going to go up here and click OK, like that. And I might just move it back a little bit. And that's a little bit too dark, so I'll click on that and just move it to here like that. That's about right. Okay, it gives a lovely blue tinge, and if we up that light, we'll also get a shadow. We just might move it a bit further away, like that, so we get these great shadows happening. Actually, that's probably a bit too much. Just might drop that down a little bit. Now I'll add another light like this. Let's have a look at that first before we do that. Apple R to have a look. Okay, great. We've got a great shadow there. So let's click anywhere to get out of that. I'm going to add another shadow now by adding another spotlight like this. Now this time I want it to rotate around that way. So to do that, I'll click on this rotation thing and use the green one. Make it, which is the down here in the rotation. You'll see in the top field here. I'm just going to type in 90 degrees like that. Then I'm going to go back to the pointer tool, grab it by the blue thing, and just drag it out this way, like that. I'm also going to change the color of that light. So I click on Light and General like this. I'll click here. I'll make that light a nice orange, like that. That's a little bit too much. And I do want a little bit of shadow. So that's fine like that. I'm going to click on shadow down here and make soft shadow like that. And same on this light here, I'm going to go to shadow and soft shadow too as well on that. Now that yellow is a little bit too bright, so what I might do is I'll just go back to that light, click up here to go to that light. I'm just going to click on here and just make it a very, very subtle color like that. Okay, let's have a look at that. Apple R. Very fancy indeed, very dramatic shadow we've got there. Okay, so let's get to animating this. I might zoom in a little bit so we can have a look at it. Very nice indeed. Okay, now what I want to do is I'll use the default camera. I don't need to make a camera. So I'll go back to the start like this, make sure my playback head's back here. And I'm going to grab the cube, this cube here. Actually, no, that's the earth. I'll go up here and grab it by the cube, select it up there, and just drag it down underneath the floor from my starting position. And I'll put in a keyframe here like that. Move along to say 40 frames. And then I'm just going to grab it and move it back up to about here, like this. And then add another keyframe. Let's have a look at that. That's what we want. That's exactly what we want. Okay, but I'll just stop that and zoom out just a little bit. It's probably too close. Okay, let's have a look at that. I'm going to save that. Apple S to save that. And Command Tab back to After Effects. And let's have a look at it using the standard draft like that. Let's press the space bar. And away it comes. With very dramatic lighting, like that. Okay, let's go back to and fix a few things. Go back to get back into Cinema 4D. I'm simply going to Command Tab back to Cinema 4D like that. Now we don't seem to have a shadow on the top light, which is this first one. Okay, let's turn the shadow on. We should see a shadow now on the world. If we have a look at that, yeah, that's what we want. We want a shadow there. Okay, let's look at these two lights. This one coming in from the left-hand side, the blue one. I might just drop the opacity a little bit like that. Just a touch more. Yeah, just a touch like that. That's the art of this, is to play around with these lights and get the intensity as you want it. I might just try it like that. And I'll Apple R to have a look at that. That's quite dramatic lighting. Okay, I might save that, Command S, go back to Command Tab, back to After Effects, and let's have a look at that. Okay, it's going up a little bit too far, the enter, so I'll have to go back to Cinema 4D and fix that. I'm just going to Command Tab back to there, like this, click on the cube, and make sure I'm on the right keyframe. So if I grab the playback head, hold the shift key down and drag to the left, it'll snap to that keyframe. Then I'll just move it down just a little bit so it only goes up about that far. And I'll again replace that keyframe by clicking here. Save it, Apple S, Command Tab. Let's watch it now in After Effects. Okay. Quite a dramatic little entrance there using a 3D cube. Let's have a look at that in standard final. You can see the lights are maybe a little bit too bright now. Let's have a look at that. This is the finished result. Very, very dramatic indeed. Okay, what I might do is I might go back to Cinema 4D and just fix those lights. To do that, Command Tab. Back to here, select one of these lights and drop the intensity back, right back, down to about, say, 104%. And same with the next light up. I'll do the same thing. I'll just drag that intensity back to under 100%, or maybe a little bit, so I get a bit more shadow. So it's really just a trade-off between those two things like that. I might just try that. Let's have a look at that. Very subtle shadows. but much better typography. So let's have a look at that. Apple S, I'll save that. Command Tab back to After Effects. Let's have a look at that in Final. Much better. Much better indeed. You can read the type a lot better. But that's the sort of thing you could do. Hey, if you had, for example, a portfolio of work, you could present on cubes that spin around with your work on it with very dramatic lighting and quite a useful use of Cinema 4D and After Effects. Hey, thanks for watching.